going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now.
Jimothy.
So ladies and gents, we are back. I am almost fighting fit, ladies and gents. Been on a crutch for the last week or so. Haven't been the greatest, but we're on the mend. We're on the road to recovery. And just a quick side note before we jump into this video, make sure you get into the Discord, ladies and gents, because when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna run a tournament because I've got a binder full of cards to give away. I'll say full. I'm actually filling it as we go along, to be honest. But as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna jump into my Discord. We're gonna play some games, and the overall victor is gonna walk away with a binder full of cards and maybe something for second and third place. So I will definitely go over that in a few details in another video, so make sure you subscribed and look out for that. But anyway, enough of that talk. Let's get straight into today's video, which is the ban list. Let's talk about it. So we all know what cards have been hit. Linkuriboh has been forbidden, Baron de Fleur, Borrowload Savage Dragon, and Summon Limit, just the forbidden cards to start off with. And it's interesting to see where Konami are going with regards to their philosophy for the game. You've seen like them address some of the floodgates in a previous ban list, and they've continued this here. So Summon Limit, obviously, that's gone. I understand why it needed to go, and to be honest, it did need to go. It's always going to be a card that you side in going first. It only promotes degeneracy because you literally go full combo or go as far as you can, and then as well as all the interaction that you've got on your field in the form of like monsters or even like spells and traps, you can also then flip Summon Limit, which is just completely busted as it is, meaning that you literally just can't play the game no matter what deck you are, unless you're a deck that sets 5, which even Labyrinth is not going to be having any joy against Summon Limit anyway. So it's a little bit of an interesting one, and it needed to go. It needed to go, to be honest. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't promote healthy gameplay. It doesn't promote gameplay, which is the bottom line. So yeah, it needed to go. Linkuriboh, very interesting one. Indirect hit to Snake Eye. Linkuriboh obviously turned up in a lot of different decks, but in Snake Eye it was just getting abused beyond belief. Its graveyard effect is busted. Its effect to protect from a battle destruction is really important, especially with Appaloosas also being on fields, and it allows you to just dodge targeting, which is just so unfair, especially when you're burning resources to actually give you an opportunity to play the game. Linkuriboh is just saying, nah, you're not gonna do that, fam. I'm just gonna do whatever I want and just make a field, which is busted in of itself. So I understand why it needed to go. It's unfortunate. It's gonna be some collateral damage for some other decks, but it is what it is. It's Snake Eye's fault, so blame the Snake Eye players, basically. And also Baron de Fleur and Borrowload Savage Dragon. Now this is a very, very interesting hit because Konami have started to move away, as well as the getting rid of like the floodgates and all that kind of stuff. They've also started to address some of the omni negation, because these cards just basically say no to every card type in the game, monsters, spells, or traps, which is really important because most decks now, we'll say most decks, a lot of the decks tend to push their strategy in order to kind of like facilitate making one of these cards, whether it's Borrowload Savage Dragon or the Baron de Fleur. I do feel like Baron de Fleur is way more of a culprit in comparison to Borrowload Savage Dragon, but I do think both needed to be hit. Baron is just silly. People are making it in 3 summons, 4 summons. It's easy, and then being able to kind of like play under like a Baron de Fleur and have the rest of your combo be like safe, so to speak, is just not fair. And it doesn't promote diverse deck building. It means, can your deck facilitate one of these cards? Nope. Then it's probably not the best deck, which is just it's interesting to see that Konami have addressed it basically. And Savage is the same. Although Savage is a little bit more investment, it still effectively does the same thing as Baron. So I understand where they're going from it. It's unfortunate for decks like Manadium that have just got their deck just absolutely cooked by the list, because what are they doing? They're going to end on a nib token and a counter trap, and that's it's just not, it's not right. It's not fair, but it is what it is, and there's some decks are gonna benefit from it and some decks aren't. So I get it. So I don't know. I understand their design space behind it, but yeah, it's a bit tough. Okay, on to the limited stuff now. Easy ones out of the way. Tidal given, that was ready. I feel like they're gonna start upping the ratios of the Dragon Rulers once they realize that they're not actually doing as much as they thought they could do. the game has changed so much since there was Outlast, so it's only right that they slowly peel off. I think they're a little bit cautious with it because, again, Dragon Rulers were part of like a tier 0 format, so the Konami are very, very cautious in bringing those guys off, so I understand that. Magispector Kirin, that had to happen. I believe it had to happen just because we've got Magispector support. The deck is not anywhere near like tier 1 or 2. It's probably a rogue deck at best. It has its issues. It does have some powerful main deck monsters, but it does have some major issues. The Link 2 is such a choke point for the deck now that it makes it really, really difficult, because the Link 2 is a choke point as well as being very xenophobic. It locks you into Magispectors, and you don't have a plethora of options to draw from. You can actually play the Draco Slayer stuff as well, because you can summon that after you've summoned the Link 2, but it's just not optimal, to be honest. There's other decks out there that can, even like pendulum decks that can do as much or if not more than some of the Magispectors. But I do like the way that they play. I've got the deck myself. I think it's very, very fun to play, and Kirin's obviously just going to be a boost for the deck. So now they've got another form of interaction along with the spells and traps that facilitate a lot of their interruptions. Chicken game, I just want to see what happens here. I don't know. It's untested. We'll see what deck can abuse it. I know Ancient Fairy Dragon's got something to say with regards to chicken game, so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Anti-spell frigates, I'm surprised this is limited, to be honest. I don't know if Konami should have just outright banned it. Will players still play this at 1? Who knows? I can't see it happening. It's a sacky one-off that you have to kind of like see alongside other things, and I just don't feel like it's going to promote the best deck building to just have a one-off continuous spell in your deck that can sometimes hinder your own game plan. So I understand why they've did it. You can still play with it, but the likelihood of this happening is probably not high. But the two elephants in the room, Arch Nemesis Protoss as well as Thunder Dragon Colossus, boy oh boy, ladies and gents. So I understand. So Konami have taken away a few floodgates, but I feel like they've put a couple of floodgates back in to kind of like balance out the meta, because it's a necessary evil in my opinion. And I feel like the reasoning behind this is because monsters are a little bit easier to interact with in comparison to like spells and traps that just get flipped on you at random. At least you can respond with like, I don't know, an infinite impermanence, a monster negate, a effect veil, something. But with the spells and traps, you literally, they get flipped on you, and there's not a lot you can do, especially the timing of them. So it's interesting to see these two. Now, I do feel like Arch Nemesis Protoss is probably going to get played in Sword Soul and maybe a couple of other decks, whereas I feel like Thunder Dragon Colossus is going to get pushed into so many strategies just with the Nemesis stuff and the fact that it just negates searching. I feel like people are going to find ways to kind of shoehorn it into places where it shouldn't be, and that can be an issue. It kind of falls back onto like the Borreload Savage and the Baron de Fleur issue, where decks were just trying to facilitate making those cards because they were so powerful. And I feel like the same can be said about Colossus and Protoss, albeit not as efficient to make. You probably have to go out your way a little bit to make them, and I feel like that's what Konami wants, because if you're going to invest into making a very, very oppressive boss monster, they want you to put a lot of your eggs into one basket, so to speak, and it plays into things like Nibiru, like into Droll. So I see where they're going, and it's kind of like a necessary evil, although it's going to be a little bit rough to play against, to be honest. Semi-limited, let's not kill too much time on this. Armageddon Knight, whatever, fine, no problemos. Pearly Delicious Memory, just a little bit of increased consistency. I wonder if any of this stuff is going to get reprinted in the Rarity Collection. I think some of it's been touted too, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens then. And yeah, that's it for semi-limited. Now the Unlims, ladies and gents, this is interesting. Now, Destiny Hero Malicious, we all know what Malicious does by now. Hero players rejoice, you've got another Malicious to play with, not a problem. The reason why Malicious was semi-limited is because it cannot function limited, it's a dead card. But the reason why it was semi-limited is because it was getting abused in other decks, and this is just going to happen again. Like, Malicious bounces between like unlimited and semi-limited so often just because of the nature of the card. It makes rank 6s. It's a free special summon from the grave, which is crazy, from your deck as well. The levels can matter, especially if you want to make any kind of like synchro plays. It's just all around a good card. Doesn't lock you into anything. It's a dark, it's a monster. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do with this card. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it gets abused in any other strategies. I know Tearlament players are still playing Tearlaments. They're probably going to take this into their deck. And you've also got another Destiny Hero Denier as well, which already made Malicious somewhat of a better card, but now that you've got 3 Malicious and 1 Denier, it's even more consistency, or just extension basically. So it's going to be interesting to see. Harp Horror, we haven't really seen much of Orcus. They've tried to mix with Runics. I've seen few people put Orcus and other things, but they haven't really done much. And it's fair to say that the strategy has been somewhat power crept, to be honest. It doesn't mean that Orcus are trash, by no means. No stretch of the imagination that Orcus trash, but just not as strong as some of the other stuff that's in the meta, which is why you don't tend to see them. I do believe if someone just gets to Tekken and just kind of like dedicates themselves into like establishing a really strong Orcus strategy, they could be good. But at the moment, yeah, it's just Orcus. I don't feel like they're going to be doing too much. Speedroid Terratop, yeah, is what it is. Give the Kashtira Speedroid players another toy to play with, basically. I don't feel like it's going to do much more. Goblin players rejoice, even though you was already playing Terratop. You've got more consistency for your deck, so we'll have to see where that goes. And then obviously Sky Striker getting support, so I can see those guys. I can see Sky Striker actually being a little bit of a very strong rogue contender, especially with the way that the spells work. And with free engage, you can turbo free your deck. 100% Sky Striker players are playing 3 engage. It's not even a joke. It's none once per turn, so they're just going to abuse that card as much as they can. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But all in all, ladies and gents, that's just my thoughts on the ban list. It's interesting to see that Konami are trying to promote a little bit more interaction and a little bit more in the way of creative deck building, where you've got more avenues to go down now, because you haven't got the extra deck staples of like Baron and Barrelode Savage. You've got to kind of like build your deck in a way, which is a little bit weird, because I can see Yu-Gi-Oh players obviously just leaning more into like making Appaloosa, albeit Appaloosa is not an Omni-Negate, it's still a form of interaction. And that almighty Nibiru is definitely looking at everybody now and doing the Birdman hand rub, because he's thinking to himself, I'm going to be smashing people's boards left, right and center. But ladies and gents, what do you think? What do you think of the ban list? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Are there any hits that you would have included? I mean, Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, King Calamity for one, and Harpy's Featherstone, woo, they're just dodged the ban list. They're just chilling like in McDonald's getting themselves a milkshake. So yeah, what do you think? Let me know in that comment section below. And yeah, that is all from me for today, ladies and gents, and we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you did enjoy this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.